Colourwerx peeps, or good afternoon or good evening from wherever you're joining us from. I'm Linda.
And I'm Carl.
And that's Carl. And we are Colourwerx Designs, coming to you live today from Palm Springs, California, because guess what? Today is Friday, November 18th, and it is...
Yay!
Hello, and welcome in. It is almost Turkey Day, so we have our turkey gift for you right there. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Again, it's episode number, what is it? It's 53 of the Fab Friday program, and we have kind of a short and sweet episode for you today, a broadcast. We'll see how short, I don't know.
Wow.
But we are in house remodel time here in the Colourwerx Design House, and we want you to like and share this video with people. We're trying to grow our Colourwerx Peep organization, which you all are a part of. So make sure you like and share this video with your friends, family, quilty buddies. Make sure that you subscribe to our Colourwerx YouTube channel, all that good stuff, you know, that we always ask you to do. But the algorithms are playing tricks again, especially during the holidays. So if you don't comment or you don't like our posts, you probably won't see our posts in the future. So that's just something to take note. So just give it a like or give it a share or a comment, and you'll make sure that we appear in your news feed at all times. So like I said, we have been traveling. You've probably seen that over the Colourwerx Instagram or Facebook posts. We just recently returned from the Houston Quilt Festival and Quilt Market, which was super, super, super fun. So if you didn't get a chance to see our booth, we're going to roll a short video with some really groovy music so you can see the booth we set up at the Houston Quilt Festival. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we had a great time at Houston Quilt Festival. It was a fun show, except for the last day, because the Astros, the Houston Astros, won the World Series, as we all know. And, of course, they had to shut down Houston Quilt Festival 2 hours early because they were worried that all the vendors wouldn't get out and the quilts couldn't be delivered back to their owners, because they were expecting 1 million people downtown that night to celebrate the Houston Astros victory.
And there was probably more.
And there was probably more than that. So everything worked out great, but you know, it was kind of a bummer or shame that the show had to close down 2 hours earlier. But everybody understood. Everybody was good sports about it, no pun intended, and we got on our way. So let's see who's checking in from where. We haven't been on the air for I must be almost like 2 months, because we weren't on the air last month.
No.
And now we're back on the air. So who? Oh, Julie, good morning to you. Thank you for welcoming us back, and we're glad to be back. You know, it's nice weather in the desert right now. And Suzanne is checking in from Vista. Good morning, Suzanne. How are you doing? And Joe, hello, Joe from Louisiana. Long time. And Tina, good morning. Tina and Carl and I met up at Sisters, Oregon. So good morning, Tina. Thank you so much for checking in.
I believe we just sent something on the way to you.
Yes, we did, Tina. Thank you so much.
In the mail.
Who else? Oh, Joe, I saw your booth and it was great. Thank you, Joe, very much. We had a great time at Quilt Festival. And Karma's checking in from Missouri.
Good morning, Missouri.
You must have snow, I think. So yeah, it's beautiful weather here in the desert. You know, a lot of people go, oh, isn't it hot all the time? No, absolutely not. We are actually experiencing some great weather here. Very kind of what I would call fall, wintry conditions for the desert. We are in the probably low 70s during the day, and we go down to almost low 40s at night. So it's chilly for us, chilly. So the Colourwerx Design House is in a bit of disarray, just to give you some news. I look a little awkward here. I feel like I'm being propped up like a scarecrow because I'm not in my usual chair here in the sewing studio.
We're adapting.
We're adapting to what we're doing. So we're standing in the studio, if you will, with lights around us and this quilt behind us. This is the Cosmos quilt. It's a bit of a minefield for me to get to the overhead, but I'm going to do it today. And that's because we're just winding up our workshops, our lectures for the season, for the year now. We have like one more workshop this weekend, and then we are kind of done for the year for workshops, not designing or posting or anything like that, but done with workshops and lectures and traveling. And so we are in the midst of kitchen remodel at the design house. So we wanted to show you some pictures. You guys have seen this probably on the Instagram, but there it is. Day one, day two, we demolished, I should say Carl demolished the kitchen. We're doing a complete remodel. Now what you see in the day one photo there is kind of our field kitchen. So we set up a table with the microwave, the coffee maker, the toaster. The oven still works here and there on the gas range, but that's about it. And Carl had to basically hammer away at the countertop, the granite countertop, and destroy it basically to get it out of there. So we're now waiting on our drywall guy to show up, and then our painter, and we're going to do the IKEA kitchen again. So if you followed us along at Ascalon at our previous condo, we like the IKEA kitchen because it's just versatile. It allows us to change our mind midway if we want to.
Which we do all the time.
Which we do. And we can change doors and things like that. So it is a marvelous feat of engineering from the IKEA people.
It's like designing a quilt with different fabrics all the time. We keep changing.
You keep changing, and you have the ability to change, which is nice. So that is, I hope you'll follow along with us in both the end of November, December. It's probably going to go into January at least for the kitchen remodel at the Colourwerx Design House. It should be great when it's done. We're doing high gloss white cabinetry on the bottom. We think we might be going with either frosted glass on the top or a light blue high gloss turquoise cabinetry on the top. And that's the great thing about the IKEA kitchen is we didn't have to make up our mind. We're going to have both cabinet fronts come in, and we get to choose which cabinet front we like best once we have the tile up and we have pretty much the kitchen painted and ready to go. So if you want to keep up to date with us, just keep liking those posts on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll get all the news on the Design House in your feed. So let's see if anybody else is checking in. Janine, thank you so much. Checking in from South Carolina. Hello to you in South Carolina. I bet is it chilly? I think it's chilly there. Ooh.
And Tina's got a segue to the next section.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tina says, yes, can't wait for Colourwerx fabric. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, we do have some limited edition Colourwerx fabric in the shop. And Tina just gave us a great segue into what we were going to give you the news on also, which is Cheers. The Cheers boutiques are in our shop right now, available to order. If we go to that slide, Carl will bring it up. That's the Cheers boutiques that had just come out to the shops. It's a cocktail themed, of course, collection for Island Boutiques, and there are 20 SKUs in all in this collection. We have it in available in 2.5-inch strip packs, 10-inch square packs, fat quarter bundles, half-yard bundles. We also have some kits available upon request that you guys wanted. So our Color Maze kit is available, our paint box kit right above me, and also our Cheers new pattern kit is available. And all of these kits, by the way, can be ordered with or without the pattern. So if you already have the pattern, never fear. You don't have to buy it again. You can choose with or without the pattern, and all of that is up in the Colourwerx shop waiting for you. So if you need some ideas to give partners what you would like for Christmas, you could actually ask for one of these fat quarter bundles, or even a Colourwerx gift card, which is up there under special gifts tab. So that's our plug for the Colourwerx shop there. Let's see what else is going on. Yes, Janine says it's cold in the 40s. Ooh, I remember those temperatures from North Carolina. Oh my goodness. Okay, and let's see, are we ready to go on to the tutorial? I think so. I wanted to do like a really quick tutorial. Let's see, Sharon is checking in really quick. The Cheers fabric collection is absolutely beautiful and fun too. Yes, Sharon is, Sharon Cole is the Tuffet lady. So I have to give a plug out for tuffetsource.com. That would be tuffetsource.com. That is Sharon Cole, who just checked in with us, and she does the tuffets. And if you've ever wanted to make a tuffet, she's got a online workshop you can take with her that on demand, so you can take it at your own pace, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, if that's not still there. And also, you can buy all your tuffet materials, including the legs and foam and everything else, at tuffetsource.com, and she did a marvelous tuffet. I wish I forgot to load up the picture. I'm so sorry, but there's a marvelous tuffet that I'll put on later that Sharon did of the Cheers fabric that is just gorgeous. So Tina's saying, what, we were down to 28. Ooh, that is actually very chilly.
That is chilly.
I remember that from living in Northern Virginia. Those were some of our highs on the day of living in Northern Virginia on 10 acres. The high used to be 28 sometimes. Ooh. And Sharon is confirming from tuffetsource.com. The class is still available through iquilt.com. So you can see it right there on the comment that Sharon put up for us. iquilt.com is the online demand course for making your tuffets. It's a great project if you've ever wanted to make one. And Sharon's pattern makes it so easy to do. So definitely check that out at tuffetsource.com and iquilt.com. Okay, should we move on to the tutorial? We're going to have to do-si-do here in the sewing studio.
Well, I'm going to send you to the overhead.
There's the overhead. So wait, we have to kind of gently walk over.
You don't want me to sing, like, vamp the music, do
no.
you? Good.
Okay, I'm here. Can we see everybody?
Yes.
So let's talk about this. So let's say, and it happens to us too, believe it or not, you get kind of dry in the color department. Sometimes you want to make a new quilt and you just don't know where to start with a color palette. You're feeling dry. You're feeling kind of like, worn out. And sometimes we forget we have this. This is a color wheel. Now, I don't pay a lot of stock or attention to all these tints and tones and shades in the middle. These are just known as tones and shades and tints and tones here in the middle of your color wheel. I like to look at the pure color on the very outside of the color wheel. This color wheel I like. It's from, can you see that, Carl? Yeah. The Color Wheel Company.
Yes, we can see that.
Most quilt shops sell this. It's a great color wheel because it already has what I call, if I can term it, these universal color schemes on the side for you to look at.
Or palettes.
Or palettes. And these are universally accepted across all design mediums. So if you're a interior designer, these will be familiar with you. If you're a watercolorist, these will be familiar to you. If you're a fashion designer or fabric designer, these are familiar. And for quilters, we can use them too. And if your color wheel doesn't have these color schemes on the side with these descriptions, just go look up on the internet, any color theory website, call up, just Google color theory or
color wheel,
or color schemes, and these will all come up with a little description. And these are great places to start when you're feeling dry. So let's talk about this first one, complementary. This is the first one on my color wheel. It's a contrasting color scheme, complementary seams, and it says just choose 2 colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. Well, since Christmas is coming up, why don't we choose red and green?
Which are opposites.
Okay, and I've just got kind of like some fabrics to play here. This is Juicy Juices, Deco Glow, Colourwerx is sitting here, and of course I've got some Cheers. And let's start with that because that has the most fabrics. Now you can do this with fabrics in your stash, or you can do this with paint chips. If you have a load of paint chips, or maybe you've taken the Kona Cotton color card and you've cut it apart, all the swatches, you can do it with that as well. So I'm just going to choose 2, what I consider medium value colors of my color scheme. Since I'm going to do red and green, red is a primary color, so I'm going to choose that red, which to me reads red. It's got some pink in it. And then a medium green. Okay, that's great. But let's say I need more fabrics in my color palette than that. Well, now start to hit, if these are your medium value, now start to choose things that are on the lighter value side and the darker value side. So if I was going to work on this green, that could be my lighter value, and this could be my darker value. Okay, I could even add in maybe, let's see how it works. I'm just going to play. I could even add in maybe that green from Deco Glow, just to add in a little more contrast or variety to my colors. And maybe even that green. So now I've got 5 greens there to choose from or to play with, or they become part of the palette. Now let's go on to the red. There's a red-orange, and that would be a lighter value. And if I need to come in with a darker value, let me see if I have anything here. No, I really don't. Now, you may have something. I just don't when I pulled all these fabrics. Here's this one from Colourwerx, and I would say maybe something like that. Now, this is all going to be different to your eye, so everybody sees color differently. And you may say to yourself, Linda, that doesn't look good. Well, of course not, because I'm just choosing from 3 different piles. I don't have my enormous stash out. But you may choose that you may not like this red orange. So you can take it out and you can choose even a darker value if you want to here. But if I wanted to kind of play on that a little bit more, let me see if I have any more reds. I don't even think I do, actually. I could actually even put in maybe that orange. I'm getting a little bit away from red.
It's kind of a pinky
green,
orange.
But that is a complementary color palette right there. And all I did was refer to my color wheel, pick that first universally accepted color scheme, which was called complementary, read the description, which says 2 colors directly opposite each other on the color wheel. For example, it says right here, red and green, and start to play around with swatches. Let's try another one. How about if I go with monochromatic? Monochromatic is a hard color palette for many people because what they don't understand is that you're going to choose one color, any color you want, one color, and you've got to choose now medium, light, medium, and dark values of those colors. And what that really means is you're choosing tints, tones, and shades. So you're kind of going in here. So if I was going to do, like, let's say blue, right? Can you see all the range there of blues that are tints, tones, shades? Again, here, these are tints because they're with white. So these are all colors that I could choose from in my monochromatic color palette here. So let's just try that. Let me remove these over there. And we're going to start throwing some blues down now. So I usually like to start with a medium blue, or what I consider a primary color, blue. That's blue. Blue is one of the primary colors. You know, no other color in your color palette can be made unless you start with yellow, red, and blue. And now we're going to go to the light side and the dark side of this blue. So, you know, I could throw in that. You know what? I really want it to be a little deeper. I could throw in that. I could keep that for a while. Hold on. Let's get some more blue going in here. How about that? And then I'm going to play around in the middle here because I really need to bridge those gaps, as you will. Now, this is more of a teal or turquoise, but it could work.
It's in the blue family.
As I'm spanning this out, and I'm looking to Carl to advise me since he is the color guru here. He's being very quiet over there.
No, mate, you're doing just fine.
There you go. I have some shades. Now, these two are very close, so I might take one of them out. And, you know, there you go. I've got a nice range of tints, tones, shades.
And you would take the Deco Glow one and put it on the end of the Cheers one. No, not that one. The other one, the teal-looking one. Because that's on the end of the spectrum.
There you go.
So that blends right through.
So there's a monochromatic color palette, give or take some. I mean, you know, this is very on the fly here today. So maybe, you know, I would expect that if I was going to do this for real, I would spend a little more time doing it than just throwing
2
fabrics
minutes,
down.
yes.
You know, but one of the things that I've noticed that people do with color too is that they tend to overanalyze their color choices, and you really can't do that. It becomes, you know, quilting is supposed to be fun, and when it becomes unfun is when we start to super analyze all our choices.
Right, and the other thing with what you got laid down there, people sometimes get hung up on the print.
Yes.
As well, because the print has another color in it, and that might be you're thinking, oh, what color is that? Well, you just say, what color would you like it to be? Like that one on the top with the kites. It's got the very first one. That's got a dark blue background with a light kite motif on there.
Yes.
But to me, I'm going to read that as the dark blue.
And it also has a lot of red in it.
Yeah, and the
so
kite.
Goes to the warmer spectrum.
And the teal kite is just an accent, which is now going to pick up on the other side of the scale, on the other side of the palette. So It's all good.
So let's move on, and we're going to play on this theme a little bit, and we're going to move on to analogous. This is one of my favorite universally accepted color palettes. Analogous is a very harmonious color palette, as well as monochromatic. And harmonious means that it's soothing, it's soft, it makes sense to your eye. When you see something that's contrasty, like the red and green, it's a little more jarring, it's jivey, it's lively, it's dramatic. Think of black and white for contrast. So analogous color palette is simply colors that are right next door to each other on the color wheel. So if I was going to start with some of these blues, I could go to the green range or I could go to the purple range, as you see, because these are colors next door to each other on the color wheel. So that would make an analogous color palette. So let's just leave some of these down for a minute. I might put some of these back. I'm just going to bring in some purples now. See what we get going. Let me find Colourwerx. And so, you know, we're going kind of like across that way. And then we can also bring in some blue greens here. And these are all colors. I'm just simply looking at my color wheel. These are all colors that are next door to each other on the color palette. Now it's a bit dark. So, you know, I want to lighten up with some lighter tones in here maybe and see what that does. I'm not pleased with that. Hold on for just a minute. I want something that really, those four look great together. Let's see. What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, well, the palette at the bottom, the teal's good. Take that top
The purples
blue
are
out.
working.
Yeah, you want to take the middle one out, which is the glasses at the top there, in the middle of the top palette.
One.
Yeah, because the purple and the blues blend together.
These are beautiful together.
Because actually the way you get to purple is you've got blue, and on the other side you're going to add red. That gets you the purple. So that's why it's in that sequencing. And really, the teals, if you add some yellow to that blue, that's when you start getting your teals colors.
So this has more yellow in it, and this has more red in it.
Right.
This is a warmer tone.
So this
is your primary. Again. This is your warmer tone and your secondary cooler tones going on. So something like that, really fast. But this would be considered an analogous color palette. And why? Because you're just simply choosing colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. I mean, I could be much more analytical about this color palette I have down here and really start to dig deeper into all these different shades here, you know. But you could do the same here. You could create like a citrus color palette by just choosing yellow, orange, and a red-orange color palette, and that would give you kind of a springtime color palette, or even go orange, yellow, and the limey green, which is one of my favorite colors. That's very citrus color. So all of those are easy to do. I mean, if I wanted to do that, that would be another analogous, even though it's a little bit livelier color palette. It's a bit more contrasty, but that's still considered an analogous color palette because those are the colors that are right next door to each other on the color wheel.
Very Colourwerx, that one.
That one is very Colourwerx.
We like
so let's
Colourwerx.
take one more jab at this. So just to give you another example, and we're gonna do what I call triad. This is an interesting one, and this is one of the reasons I like this color wheel. We're not an influencer of it. But it's available at most quilt shops. Again, it's from the Color Wheel Company.
And we used to sell them in our shop.
See this little triangle in the middle? Can everybody see that? That's your triad. And so what you can do is you can rotate this top wheel around, and it will tell you wherever you land this wheel what the contrasted triad colors are. So if I was going to point to red, we're going to do a primary color palette. Red, blue, yellow. Those are primary colors. That creates a triad color palette, and let's do that really fast. So we're going to start with medium shade or medium value colors, yellow, blue. I've got to find my red in here. There it is, red. That's considered a triad color palette right there. And if I want to expand on that now, add some medium, lighter and darker.
Well, what you could do actually, Linda, is
lighter and darker shades.
Is put the orange between the red and the yellow.
Here?
And yes. And then you could put a purple between the blue and the red.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do the triad first. I know what you're going to say, Carl, so hold on. Let me do the triad color palette for everybody. So, I don't like that. Hold on. We need a yellow, a darker yellow. There. Is that looking good? So we've got yellow, kind of light, medium, dark value. Red, gosh, if I was going to do it like that, that's what my eye says, but that's light, medium, dark value. It might look a little different to you, depending on your fabrics. And I'm just calling it as I see it. You know, everybody's eyes are a little bit different, so don't get upset if somebody walks in the room and goes, that doesn't look right to you, because, you know, guys see color different than girls and all that stuff. So I don't know if I like that. Let's see. Do you like that?
I like that one.
Okay, how about that? So there we are. That's a triad color palette because these are equidistant. They make a triangle, and even if your color wheel doesn't have this triangle little shape on it to help you rotate this, just do it. Just pick, put your pencil on the red and make a triangle to whatever the opposite color is to that, blue, and the opposite color to that is yellow. So you make that triangle form in the middle, and that would work with any one of these colors. So let's say I pointed towards, I don't know, violet, which is purple actually to me, but they call it violet. Violet, the opposite color to that is green to orange. Guess what those are? Those are your secondary colors, if I'm correct.
They are.
And you know why they're the secondary colors? Because they're in between the exact middle of the primaries. So guess what? To get purple, you mix blue and red together. To get green, am I right?
Yes.
You have to mix blue and yellow together.
Correct.
And to get orange, again, a triad color palette, you have to mix red and yellow together. So if I was going to take this and start to color wheel it, which is what Carl was after when I first started, I could start putting in orange in the middle of all this, you see, because red and yellow make orange. And then if I wanted to like complete the wheel, I could come in with some purples here because red and blue make purple. And then, woo, here we go. It's magic with fabric. I can throw in some green, and guess what? Yellow and blue make green.
And there's a
there
color
you
wheel.
go. And you've got a color wheel of fabulous fabrics there. I hope they're all in frame.
They are.
If I put them like that. And all of that is made by just referring to your color wheel. And if you don't have a color wheel and you want to look at this today, just call up any color wheel, Google Color Theory, any of the color books that you might have. This is probably the first chapter in the book. But there you go. That's how you create quick color quilting palettes using your color wheel. So I'm moving back now to my post over here.
Isn't that Colourwerx?
That's Colourwerx.
And actually, if you get one of our bundles, it's probably going to mimic that.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm back here looking like a scarecrow propped up. But if there's any questions, we can take them in the comments now. But I hope that helped. That's kind of just a little quick lesson on color theory, as well as just referring to your color wheel for quick color palettes when you're feeling dry in the color department. And another tip that we actually tell customers quite a lot, even if you don't have all the fabrics to play with, the bundles, just go out to the paint chip store and start grabbing paint chips. They're free, they're there, they're usually on-trend colors for you, and you can cut those apart as much as you want into 1-inch squares or grate, other things, or leave them as is. Sometimes you can find in the paint stores too, the values already set up for you. So if you know those paint chips that have 3 different, let's say, blues on the card, those 3 different blues are usually your light, medium, and dark values of that color, whether it be a tint, tone, or shade. So don't let yourself get too mixed up in this. Just choose the colors you like and put them down on, like we were doing on the board there, and see what makes sense to you. Joe is asking if we sell the color wheel. We don't, but it is from the Color Wheel Company, which is available on Amazon. I believe C&T Publishing actually sells it somewhere. Most quilt shops sell it. Can you grab it there, Carl? Let's see.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get a website off of it for you, Joe. But it is a nice color wheel. And of course, color wheels come in all different sizes. So, this one is about 10 inches, but sometimes you can get pocket color wheels. I will say to you, I'm not a big fan of the fan deck color wheel books. I think
too many colors.
There's too many colors, and you get all mixed up, and then you find people trying to match that exact tint or tone or shade in the quilt shop, and that's not really what you're after. When using a color wheel, you need to make it as simple as possible for you. So that's why I say just keep to the outside ring, if you will. This is almost too many colors for me, and we deal with color all the time, but I like to keep to the outside ring, to the basics, the most simple color wheel possible, and say, okay, that's my color scheme. I'm going to go now select the light, medium, and dark values of that pure color that's on the outside. So let me see what I've got here. All it says is www.creativecolorwheel.com, Joe. Creativecolorwheel.com. And it's called, what is it called? Creative Color Wheel.
Creative Color Wheel.
From the Color Wheel Company. Does that help? I hope so. I will post this in the comments after this is over too, to see if I can link to that website for everybody.
It's in your face.
I'm just putting that up there so people can make a note.
I see.
You know.
Here, Janie's got a comment.
Okay. Janine says, I like that color wheel too. Might have to update mine. Yes, it's a wonderful color wheel. We used to sell this in our shop when we owned a shop for 9 years. And it's just a wonderful color wheel, basically because of this inner wheel that turns around. It makes your eye point to where you need to. And it's got all your universal color schemes right here on the side for reference. And then it gives you a little color theory paragraph on the back as well. And I'm sure they make fan decks and all that other stuff to go with it. I just don't think you need that. I think, you know, part of the fun of being a quilter, part of the fun of being an artist and being creative is just simply choosing the colors you like, because every color works. Isn't that right,
Every
Carl?
color works.
Okay, so that's our tutorial today. We're going to be, thank you, Tina says, wow, learning a lot here. So thank you, Tina, so much. We're going to be back on, and thank you, Julie says, great refresher course. Thank you so much. You know, as you can tell, we're very passionate about our color theory here. And Carl usually is the color master, as people know from checking in at the shop. But he's being shy today, I guess.
No, I'm not.
And Joe says, thank you so much. I see Jackie's checking in too. Jackie Kunkel is checking in, our friend from Island Boutiques. Hello, Jackie. Anyway, we're going to be back at you actually December 16th to wish you a Merry Christmas. We're going to have some type of Christmas show for you. We're not sure what that is yet. It might be a trunk show. It might be a tour of the kitchen in the state that it's in.
But it's in the meantime.
It's Happy Thanksgiving time. Are you? Oh my God, he's popping in.
I've got my shirt on. My
There's Carl
shirt.
for you all.
There. That's color. Look, color.
Popping in. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and share this video with all your friends and family. We really appreciate you joining us this morning, and we will see you in about a month. So happy Turkey Day, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye-bye.